starting this time. It's been going on now since 1987, 1988, and there's so many rumours flying around. I heard a rumour from a guy in the council office and the planning department, which said the Cradlewell bypass was going to be put before this one, and that had been cancelled for 5 years. But I don't really know if that's true or not, because we had the council in last week, the week before, and they said compulsory purchase April and May. So we're talking 18 months, 2 years.
This was the first bar I ever played in Newcastle upon Tyne. I moved here from Amsterdam in August '86, become my home away from home. I'm married to a lass from Peterlee. Parents live at the quayside, and this has been my watering hole for 5 years. I come from Newcastle, New South Wales, and here I sit in Newcastle upon Tyne. You alright, folks? The sunshine used to see in my old hometown. Well, you know I miss the sunshine used to see in my old hometown. There's no fun with these gray skies always hanging down. The Broken Doll. It's an unusual pub in Newcastle. It's supported the music, it's supported alternative people. It's if you don't want to go to the big market, where else do you go? You got the Strawberry, you got the Bark and Dog, you got here, you got the Bridge, and that's about it. And they want to put a bypass through out here that nobody wants. And they're going to knock down a couple of the best pubs in Newcastle just to put a bypass through, and it's all backhanders off the council. So sing your word. Let's not to avoid well. For if the beast it is not seen, shall be as if we have never been. It's just a shame. This place has always mattered to me ever since I first came to Newcastle, and just the way the pubs run, and and I think even the local police would agree that you get so little trouble actually out of this place. All the trouble's up in the nightclubs up the road. The trouble isn't down here, and they're going to knock it down. I don't see why they can't just leave the bloody thing alone. It's a place for students, it's a place for bikers, it's a place for punks, a place for goths. They're all here. They're all here, and along with, there's the guys from the car parts place across the road. There's, just people that don't like getting put in pigeonholes come down here, and every town needs that. This town needs this pub. I know people from London who'll say, "Oh, the Doll, yeah, I know the Doll," and it's the only pub in Newcastle they know.
So probably the only one 3 foot off the curb.
That's right, they only need the pavement, because they've got to build a central reservation, and I think it's a stupid idea. They've got a bridge there, that's why they're trying to keep the traffic outside Newcastle, so they don't use the Tyne Bridge, so they keep it out of the city centre. They've got a bridge there. When it's windy, you can't use, buses can't use it, lorries can't use it. In fact, I don't even know where it's going when it is planned. There's that many rumours. People say it's going through the Higher Market, people say it's going up the Barrack Road, but it's definitely Blenheim Street. We wouldn't really have to knock the pub down if somebody put some thought into it. You'd have to maybe shift the cellar hatch from the front, shift the main entrance to the side. I mean, even when the dray wagon comes on a Thursday and we get our delivery, and they take the empties out, they can't believe it, you know, for a little bar like this.
What do you think's special about this venue?
Well, I think that with the Broken Doll, I think it was probably the first live music venue in Newcastle. You know, apart from, you know, your old bars like the Go-Go and stuff like that. But there's never been many music venues in the town, you know, for local bands. And I think that's it really, because of the local talent. I don't really discriminate if they're good or bad. I let them play.
Places to play consistently, where people know to go to, that there's going to be a band on of some description every night or whatever, and that makes life really difficult.
It's every night that makes a difference, because if you want to go to a band, you know there's going to be somebody on Broken Doll, and usually of a decent standard.
And the best things about the Broken Doll is that it's is that the people who come in are sort of from so many different have such a different widespread of taste. So you know that if you're going to come in, you might see a blues band, you might see a rock band or an indie band or a pop band or whatever. People at least have got a bit more open-minded. Whereas if you were to go somewhere else, it might be a bit cliquey.
Yeah. Mostly it's just blues, isn't it?
Yeah, correct.
Blues or country and western or something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas here you can have thrash metal up here, and you could have a full band like the Commitments downstairs.
Yeah.
And the beer in between. What more could you want? You know?
Widening the road outside.
Are they? Why
Well, I was just thinking actually as we pulled up in the van, this road's a bit thin, it needs widening.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause if they widen the road, you'll be able to get your van in, won't you? But there'd be no point then.
That's true.
There'd be no Broken Doll.
Got a message for the council about the Broken Doll.
Yeah.
God.
No, the thing is, I mean, knocking down this place is like knocking down a community centre on a big estate, isn't it?
And just
Or saying, well, there isn't enough money to
and
keep
just
it
to
open.
really rub the salt in the wound, they'll put a poll tax up to pay for the road being widened.
This is just to help our plight a bit. We had them designed just for a bit of fun really, but to bring notice to what was happening to the pub. We've had a petition going now for 3 years, 4 years. We've got a couple of thousand signatures there, maybe 5,000 signatures, which is not going to make any difference at all. It's going. You can't really do anything about it. I think that SNN should relocate this bar. The brewery who owns this building should relocate this bar. It's somewhere, you know, there's loads of little warehouses and lockups that could be renovated and turned into bars, no problem. Because there's a hell of a lot of custom here. Where they're going to put all these goths and punks and long-haired people when this goes, there isn't going to be anywhere for them, is there?
Certainly, I wouldn't particularly want to lose a pub like the Dog, because it's a pub that's evolved. You cannot create someone like that. It's evolved with the people who use it. and the people who run it as well. As far as the local authority is concerned with compulsory purchase orders, we don't have any choice in the matter really. Yes, you can go to appeal, you can argue the toss with the Department of Environment, the Department of Transport indeed, but at the end of the day, the local authority have the upper hand. I mean, all we get is some form of compensation for it, for the property, but not for the business. And the business itself is a good business for us, and don't particularly want to lose that.
Does the brewery have any plans to relocate the bar?
Well, again, on that particular point, yes, we have. I don't really want to lose that business, as I've just said. It's worth too much to us, and it is a particular niche market. There is a degree of confidentiality in where would be prepared to put or move that particular business. But Michael and I have discussed it, and we have one or two places in mind, one in particular. But because of other people's business involvements, I really wouldn't want to say that too much at the moment. The pub itself it's unique. I really don't know what else we can do other than go through the channels, the appeal to the Department of Environment. Having had that experience in the past, I think we're probably barking up a tree, if you'll excuse the fun. But the doll is unique, and it seems an awful shame in days of, particularly now when we're talking in terms of pubs where, you know, the good old British pub is in such dire straits anyway, that we have an opportunity here with a totally unique building, a totally unique market, totally unique niche within a very, very tough area. It seems a shame to me that we have an opportunity really to preserve that. Okay, I know it's the pits, but is that not part of its charm? It's the pits in general terms because it's been allowed to go, because who's going to spend money if it's going to get knocked down next week? We have nothing concrete. It's just an ongoing 18 months. I've been with the company 4 years. It was 18 months then, it's 18 months now. It could be 3 years, it could be 5 years, it could be next 10 years. And again, from past experience, my own personal experience of pubs that have been on compulsory purchase, they've had one in particular in Teesside on March the 31st, 1973. Now there's a silly date that I remember. It was given 48 hours notice. It is still there. It's still trading. Now, and that, to me, says a lot about compulsory purchase. Is it really necessary? And the local authority then, in 73, thought it was. I mean, there we are, nearly 20 years on, and the pub is still there and still trading. It's still a good, solid, local community boozing. And I see then the reason why a place like the Doll shouldn't be exactly the same. But, as I say, the powers that be, their infinite wisdom will decide. As far as the protest is concerned, as I said, we have little in the way of real weaponry, other than it is only 18 inches they want. The Department of the Environment in the end will make the decision. I suspect they will come down in favour of the local authority because of long-term plans, because of degree of traffic build-up. But again, I said that it is only really at peak times. I think that's where we would have our major thrust of any argument would be because of it at this peak time. I would like to think that the plans themselves, or the planners, or the Department of Environment or Department of Transport, whoever has the final say, will take that into account. They really only need 18 inches. It may be that they can move the road 18 inches the other way to save the place, because it is unique and certainly quite a landmark in the town, particularly in view of the live music side.
Well, there's ladders, there's snakes, ladders good, wow, snake, rich man, poor man, oh, the back man, people. We got it over there. Whoa, Spook, that's my belief. Fingers split. I'm gonna ease on through that dirty town. Tip!